You are not failing because no one supports you. You are failing because you have been trained to need support before you act. And that single habit quietly destroys more progress than lack of talent ever could. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why the mind becomes dependent on external reinforcement, how that dependency weakens your will, and how to operate with a kind of inner steadiness that does not wait for permission. Look closely at your own behavior. There are things you know you should be doing, not vague ideas, clear actions, work that would move your life forward, and yet you hesitate, not because you don't understand the task, but because something feels incomplete, as if you are missing a condition, a signal, a form of support. You wait for encouragement, validation, someone to notice your effort, someone to guide your next step, and without these, your energy drops. Now pause here and consider something carefully. Where did this habit come from? Because it is a habit, not a truth. From early on, the mind is trained through reinforcement. Action is followed by approval. Effort is followed by recognition. Correct behavior is rewarded. And gradually, the mind forms a quiet equation. I act when there is response. Without realizing it, you stop acting from internal direction. You begin acting in anticipation of external return. This is not weakness. It is conditioning. And as thought vibration suggests in its deeper principles, repeated thought and reaction patterns form grooves in the mind, automatic tendencies that operate beneath awareness. The problem is not that you seek support. The problem is that your action becomes dependent on it. Now observe what happens when support disappears. No feedback, no encouragement, no visible progress. The conditioned mind interprets this as stop, not logically, but emotionally. Energy collapses, clarity fades. Even simple tasks begin to feel heavier, and you misinterpret this experience. You say, I've lost motivation, but motivation was never the issue. Dependence was. Atkinson makes a point, quietly but firmly, that the will must be trained to operate independently of emotional fluctuation, not aggressively, not forcefully, but steadily. In mind power, the emphasis is not on intensity, but on directed continuity, the ability to hold a line of action without needing constant reinforcement. Most people never develop this because they are always being fed signals from the outside, and so the inner mechanism never strengthens. Let me ask you something simple. If no one ever noticed your effort, would you still continue? If the answer is uncertain, then you are not dealing with a lack of discipline. You are dealing with a divided mental structure. One part directs action, another part waits for approval, and the second part often wins. If this perspective is helping you think more clearly about your own mind, subscribe. These ideas deepen over time. Now we come to the important shift. Not motivation, not inspiration, but repositioning. You do not need to feel independent. You need to begin acting from a different reference point. Instead of asking, is this being recognized? You ask, is this aligned with my chosen direction? This is a subtle shift, but a profound one, because it removes the emotional negotiation and places action under conscious direction. Atkinson's broader philosophy, reflected even in the Kabbalion, reminds us the all is mind, the universe is mental, meaning your experience is shaped not by conditions alone, but by how your mind organizes and responds to them. If your mind is organized around external validation, you will always feel unstable when it is absent. If your mind is organized around directed thought and chosen action, support becomes optional, not necessary. This does not mean isolation. It does not mean rejecting help. It means something far more precise. You no longer require support to continue, and that changes everything, because now your action is not interrupted by silence, not weakened by lack of response. not dependent on the presence of others. And slowly, something begins to stabilize. Not excitement, not motivation, but continuity. You begin doing things because they are yours to do, not because someone is watching, not because someone is helping, but because the direction has been chosen. Most people spend their lives trying to be encouraged. Very few ever train themselves to continue without it. And that difference is not emotional. It is structural. Most people attempt to fight themselves. Few ever study the structure of their own thought.